on with the fucking no shoot surrounding the A zones on.
Yeah, I've set up field courses like that where it's like, and it sounds weird, but you're trying to make yourself faster too. Like for me, I'm trying to make myself faster by doing that.
Right.
Which sounds weird, but when I'm shooting a match, a lot of times I'm like, oh, I just want to shoot A's. I just want to shoot A's. So then you feel like you're really slowing down to shoot A's.
Mm-hmm.
So if I set up my practice like that and get used to like seeing how fast I can go and still shoot A's, then it actually makes me faster in a match. It's like a roundabout way to get faster.
Right. Well, it's a way to break yourself out of that mental stronghold of like, ooh, that's a partial target, and ooh, that's an open target.
I need to shoot it out like a bitch. Like I shoot like enough of a bitch already. I don't need. All right, welcome to the Practical Pistol Show. My name's Ben. We're here to answer shooting questions. You have Mr. Tim Herron.
Hey, what's up, guys? You
have Mr. Hopkins and Mimi.
Hi.
Nick Antola can't be here because he bought a house or some kind of.
What?
He did some adult shit that I'm not interested in. So.
Why don't you do that right now?
What?
It's like the worst time of year to do that.
Fucking hell. People do dumb shit. I'm curious to know what you guys feel your long-term practical pistol shooting plans are. The panel is a younger crowd. Well, thank you. Do you continue to train and compete at the highest level in your 50s or 60s, like the Great One, or become the next Great One, or do you get bored of it and maybe find something else interesting enough to move on to? Hopefully, that's interesting enough to get on. Keep up the great show, guys. He really enjoys it. He's a big fan. Tim, you're the oldest guy here.
I am the oldest guy here.
By a lot.
So, like, yeah. So, like, shooting into my 50s means I have to be shooting for, like, basically 10 more years. So,
are you going to do that?
I hope to. I mean, I really enjoy the sport.
What do you mean you hope to?
Well, dude, I can't tell you what tomorrow's going to hold for me. I mean...
Really?
That must be tough to have that sort of instability in your life.
No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, here I thought I'd be racing cars, this long, and it took me about 10 to 13 years to finally get burned out enough that I was ready for something different. At the same time, though,
right?
No, God, no. But at the same time, I learned what caused the burnout in racing, and kind of learned to avoid the things that I think can cause burnout, or to get disassociated or disinterested in a hobby. And I've kind of learned to steer clear of those kind of things because I do enjoy shooting a lot. So I would like to see myself, and pretty confident to say that I would see myself shooting up into my 50s and 60s.
Okay, what about you, Hopkins? You're gonna fucking peace out of the sport before you're 40, aren't you?
That would be 8 more years, and honestly, I don't know. It's hard to say.
Do you like it as much now as you did when you first started?
I like it more now than I did.
I'm having more fun now than when I started.
I am absolutely having more fun now than I did.
Yeah.
So with that, if you go that process, yeah, I'll probably shoot for a while, but I assume at some point I won't be able to.
Well, the guy in the question says,
I won't be able to.
Will you compete at the highest level into your 50s and 60s? Like, I'm here to tell you, man.
That ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, like nobody's going to be competing at the highest level in their 50s. And by the time I get to my 50s, there's going to be probably 3 times as much talent in the sport as there is now.
Yeah, it's going to be a different sport.
It's not going to be at the point where you need to be 25 to win, but guys in their 50s aren't going to be winning shit probably. By the time I get there,
you can win sooner.
And see, I'm almost 40, and I know in some ways I've kind of lost, a little bit of my step compared to like when I was 22 to 28. But at the same time, I don't feel like at this point I don't feel like I'm disadvantaged by my age either.
I don't think so. I think you're fine. You're fit too, right? You're reasonably fit.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with you physically.
I think the biggest thing I fear is losing, like, my visual acuity, like my sight.
There's nothing to fear. That's gonna happen.
Well, I know it's gonna happen, but it's at the same time that's the thing that I'm probably most worried about, more than anything else. Like, I think physically, a shooter can overcome quite a bit, but I think like once the vision starts to go a little bit, that's a huge hurdle to overcome until you figure out a way to overcome it, whether
Well,
it's changing
you get the
divisions or
prescription worked out and
right, right. But that's
But
like that.
I mean,
Overall, that's my biggest fear.
I don't think that there's a problem. Like, you're not hugely disadvantaged by being older. You know, by being in your 40s in the sport, I don't think you're hugely disadvantaged. It's pretty minor. But it's going to get to the point just because of how much talent is coming and how popular the sport's getting where you're not going to be able to overcome any disadvantage.
Exactly.
Right? And we're at the point now in... So, Hopkins, would you say... Well, we could probably speak more to production because we know that better, but guys are not... You're not winning an area match unless you train every day, right? It's not happening.
Yeah. Well, unless don't
nobody
show
shows up.
Yeah.
But I don't think that happens too much.
There's always at least one person there, you know.
Yeah, there's
some good stalker.
Like you're not winning an area match unless you train daily, and it's going to be. I think we're going to get to the point where you're not winning a section match unless you train daily, and yeah,
we're like very close to that now.
Yes, there's a lot of talent, and there's more talent than when there was when I started. Like, it was not that hard to win. Like if you practiced, you were gonna butt fuck everybody.
I remember back in like early 2008, 2009, how much different it was just then. I mean, that's not even that long ago. 8 years.
Yeah, that's not too long ago. But a lot has changed.
Way different now. Totally way different.
Yeah. I mean, I even see, Tim, I'll even say like the level of talent I see with guys coming to classes has changed. Not even talent, well, the level of training.
That's what I was going to say. Like, even a B-class guy now isn't like what a B-class guy was 5 years ago.
Yeah, it used to be like people were complete retards at shooting, and now they're
not so
actually
much.
they're not so bad anymore.
Most people got a pretty good handle on things.
Yes, people are getting better, which just makes just gets more competition, which is good because it makes everybody better. But it also means you're not waiting. So I should say, when I look at to address the guy's question, I'm not going to be at the highest level in my 50s. That's not going to happen. So will I be shooting for fun? Probably. I think I'll do what your guy did down there and like take 10 years and just like be gone and then come back and just shoot for fun.
You think you would do that though? Be in the competitive mindset though?
What do you mean?
You're a competitive guy. That kind of drives you while you're doing this. You think?
I'm not that competitive.
Yeah, you are.
That's
such a lie, dude. Yeah,
that's bullshit.
Like, is it going to just going out there to shoot? Is that going to be like?
I
good
don't
enough
know.
For you?
Like for me, I really enjoy. It's not even the competitiveness. I enjoy learning and being better than I am. Like, I want to be better next week than I am this week. And when it's like my shit is just falling apart, where it does not matter, like I'm going to be like next year I will not be as good as this year, and if I train really hard, maybe I'll be as good, but I'm not going to be better.
But
I'm
I
not
don't.
going to be better.
Honestly, though, Ben,
that's going to suck a lot of the fun out of it for me.
But I don't see that happening for you anytime, even within the next, let's say.
It's not going to happen for a decade.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not going to happen for a long time.
Right. But it's going to happen.
Eventually, yeah.
When that happens, I don't know. Like, that's going to suck the fun out of it for me, I think. If I can't get better, I don't know. Maybe I could get some, like, cool cyborg shit going on by then.
They could have a pill by then, too, you know? You never know.
Like a badass pill?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Cool side work by then. You teach a class here or there. I heard those guys kind of...
Yeah, you could be, like, coaching or something at that point, you know?
Yeah.
If the sport gets that big, where we have, like, professionals trying to do this.
Yeah.
Those old geezers are going to be like, I used to be...
It'll be like gymnastics coaches where like, they don't let girls eat, and then they like don't hit puberty until they're like 30. Like that kind of crazy shit. We could do that. I'd be like one of those coaches. I'd be like the asshole coach, right? And I'd be like, let me tell you what, your son's going to have a mean case of tinnitus when I get done with him, but he's going to shoot like a badass. Or something, I don't know.
Like the football coaches that like wreck the kids for life, but you know they had 2 glorious years in high school, right?
He almost went pro. I mean, he's
He was,
concussed right now. He's like
yeah,
punch drunk
he
forever.
can't talk right, but
But he damn near went pro, so that's pretty cool. Man, what a glorious day that would be if when our sport gets to that point. Well, what do you think about that, Tim? Do you like that?
Yeah, I like that. Just find something else to hang your hat on. Like, man, I've, got 15 championships. I won
you might be
myself.
shooting fucking
And then
laser gun. The laser gun division that Foley
I'm now
creates soon.
coaching people that win championships, and yeah.
Oh my God. What a has-been piece of shit job that would be.
I've got 27 championships under my tutelage.
Yeah, how many national champions?
I already have a few national champions I've trained. Not in this country.
But you better be writing that shit down. That's
Why?
That's how you're gonna vet yourself when you're in your 50s.
Is it? We're all shit when it comes right down to it. Nobody cares.
I don't know. I can see myself compete.
You can see yourself shooting in your 50s. What you can't accept is that you won't be competing with anybody.
Yeah, you're right.
Hell yeah. That's why they got that. That's why they got senior and super senior, baby.
You senior, baby. But hey, Hopkins, look at it this way. By the time you get to senior, there might be enough guys in senior that it is kind of meaningful who wins that shit.
All I gotta say is
we've got a few old
All I gotta say is I got like 8 years on you bitches, so I'll be able to have a senior title at least.
No, because you're gonna think about how many pros are gonna become seniors and probably still be shooting. They'll be fucking you up.
Oh yeah, you're right. God damn it! Yeah. God damn it! I quit.
You might be shooting some other sport though, or driving race cars.
Yeah, that's what we could do. Let's take up Bullseye.
Yeah.
God, if that sport ain't dead in 20 years, I'm done.
Dude, it was supposed to be dead 20 years ago, wasn't it?
If you don't think that sport's dead now, you're a retard. And some guys will say, they go Cat Perry, they still do it. Shut the fuck up. The Yankee Cup's dead as shit, too. That is done and dusted, that sport. Fuck that.
The average age of the Camp Perry competitor is dirt.
There's a lot of gray hair in that shit. That's how you know that Open is dying a little bit too, because there's a lot of gray hair in that.
It's quite peppered nowadays.
There's a lot of salt and pepper in that. Jesus, you guys are dicks. All right. How many rounds downrange do top shooters like yourself average per year? And was it higher in the past as you were coming up through the classes? Matt, do you shoot more or less now? What do you think about other guys?
I think guys lie about this a lot, and it's very common. And if you ask somebody, they're not going to give you a straight answer.
I give you a straight answer.
Yeah, but it's not very common.
Okay. So give us a straight answer then.
I shoot 20,000 rounds a year.
What'd you shoot last year?
About 13, I think.
13,000?
Yeah.
Weak sauce, man.
I know, I'm behind, dude.
Okay. Did you shoot more? Or do you shoot more or less than you used to?
Shoot more every year.
Why is that?
Because it gets harder to stay competitive.
Okay, Mr. Heron.
I'm shooting more than I did last year, and last year was more than the year before. But then I had a couple. 2013 I shot less than I did in like 2010, 11, and 12. And 2012 or so, I think I shot like 35,000 rounds.
Holy shit!
I was gonna get good, and then 2013, like I started really paying attention and learning how to practice. So I think I shot 20, and then that was in 13, sorry. And in 14, I think I shot 18 to 20. Last year, I think I shot 15,000, maybe. And then this year I'm on pace to shoot 18 to 20,000. So it's like I started out kind of high, and then I ramped it up high, and then kind of tapered off a little bit, and then now I'm kind of moving back up towards the.
I'm doing some math here to figure out what I've shot this year. What are we mid? I think I've shot 48,000 or 50,000 this year.
Holy shit!
It's not really. See, that's a little bit deceptive because I'm counting everything I shoot. So just in demonstrations, I'll shoot like 150 to 200 a day. So if I cut out class days, that cuts 16,000 hours or so, just in demos. So just in my own training, it's a lot less than it sounds like. You're still like making a fucking face, Tim.
That's just, dude, that's awesome.
It's not really that much though. I shoot more than I used to because I have, I can afford more ammo, I guess. And when I'm I have a Mark 7, so I can load like a boss. So
best investment I ever made.
Yeah, so it's nice. I mean, I kind of committed myself where it's like I'm not going to let ammo, like piddly shit like that, slow me down.
So that
if
was
I
one
want to
difference.
shoot, I'm going to shoot. And I'm going to make the ammo happen. That's what I've committed myself to.
That's
that.
one of the difference between last year and this year.
What?
I don't have to worry about loading the ammo and stuff this year, so I'm shooting more.
I load my stuff way ahead. I'm shooting cheap ass bullets, blue bullets. So it's
Pound sponsor.
What's that?
Pound sponsor.
Yeah, well, they're still a very cheap solution. That's why a lot of people switch to them. So, I mean, it's just like money drives that stuff, right? So if it's cheap and if I don't have to, it's not even the time of loading it, but having the auto drive press, like, it's just a lot less effort. So it makes it a lot easier. So I shoot more now than I used to, mostly because I can. I think
it's required.
Required by what? Like I want to get better. So yeah, it's required that
I think that's what the root cause of that question is, right?
Right. So I'll get to that. Yeah, I have to shoot a lot. So like Gaston says, I have to shoot 100,000 rounds to make like a 1% movement skill. That's what he would say. Right. So let's say if you're shooting 60% at major matches, for you to go from 60% to 75% will require relatively few rounds, relatively little training. But if you shoot 90% at major matches, to go from 90 to 95 is a huge commitment, right?
Yeah.
Okay, mm-hmm. So that'd be that'd be the theory. So if I want to get better, I have to do a lot of shooting, a lot of dry fire, a lot of whatever it is. I have to do a lot. But to speak to this guy's point, I mean, I'm with Hopkins that it's tough to get an answer I consider straight out of people, right, Hopkins? Yeah, it's
absolutely
tough.
Agree.
It's
most people lie out of their teeth.
Yeah. So I think of the top guys, I think probably most of them shot a lot to get good, and then it wouldn't shock me if probably the bulk shoot like 20,000 a year to stay pretty good. And then there's a few guys that really want to train and get better that shoot a lot. I think there's a few guys that shoot more than 100,000 in a year, but I don't think they're really loading their ammo. Not that that matters, but there's a few people that shoot a fucking lot. A lot. Stuff that would hurt your feelings. So what do you think about that, Tim?
No, I totally agree with that. I also know, with family priorities and things, I mean, I know what my limits are, and I know where I'm at.
Shut up with your excuses. Nobody cares.
I'm just saying. But, I mean, I definitely think I make the most of my resources. So.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. It's like,
yeah.
Well, how much money do you have to sink into this, and what do you want to spend it on?
Right.
Like, if you want to get good, you're going to buy 2 guns, of the same gun,
Yes.
buy a lot of ammo,
Yes.
and go to some big matches to learn what's up. So.
And you're dry firing very frequently, and live fire practice, not matches, but actual practice quite often.
I think you go to matches until you go to every match you can until you get the gist of how that works, and then really train.
Yep.
All right. Hopkins, are you going to shoot more next year?
Honestly, I don't know. We'll see.
I think you should.
But having the not having to worry about loading ammo is a huge thing.
Yes.
And to me, it was a time issue because it took a lot longer. And yeah, it just took a lot longer, and I had to sit there and do it.
Man.
Like, because I work all day, and then if I can get to the range, it's like, get to the range or load ammo. So.
Well, why don't you load ahead in the winter, man?
I don't know.
I'll tell you what's cool.
I did load like 10,000 rounds one winter. That was awesome.
When I was, obviously younger in the sport, a case of 1,000 rounds of ammo seemed like a fuck ton.
It was. I mean, when I started when I was 21, and my girlfriend got me 21 boxes of Winchester White Box for my birthday.
Awesome.
And to me,
that seemed like a lot, didn't it?
It was a lot. I shot maybe like 600, 700, 800 rounds in my life up to that. And I got 2,100 rounds to start competitive shooting, and I made that shit last half the summer. I think I shot maybe 3,500 or 4,000 rounds my first year of shooting IDPA and USPSA.
But a case of ammo, you sent me like, God, that's 1,000 rounds in that case. That's a lot of ammo. Now you look at 1,000 rounds, like, dude, I'm having that shit burned out. It's noon, I'm having that shit burned out by 2 o'clock.
I'll go do a practice session at the local range we have. And there'll be people that'll come over and they'll be like, "You've shot more rounds today than I've ever shot." It's like, this is a short day too. Sorry.
You kind of look at them and you're like, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of amazing how...
It's relative. Yeah, you're right.
It's relative. Yeah, that's a good way.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, well, this was another fun podcast, guys.
Definitely.
All right. Audience peoples, if you have a shooting question you'd like the answer to, and you want to get Hopkins worked up, send it to me at benstoeger.com. I'd love your question, and we'll see if we can get Hopkins fired up. What really gets you going, Hopkins?
Yeah.
Proper calibration.
Does that get you wound up?
No, it gets you wound up, though.
It does get me wound up a little bit.
More question about proper calibration.
Oh, dude. I saw the worst fucking popper fucking of my life. I saw it. It made me feel bad for the guy.
Somebody in Oklahoma got popper fucked just this last weekend.
No, let me tell you about this guy who got it the worst I've ever seen anyone get it. It was amazing. So there was a stage where this popper. I was sitting watching the stage because my squad was next to shoot it. But so you shoot this popper down, and it activates this swinger that you can't see from there. So you shoot the popper and then run around the stage, and then there's the swinger, right?
Yeah.
So dude, homeboy center punches it, runs around there, no swinger. Fuck. Looks back, popper's still up. Runs back around, center punches, takes off again. Looks back, fuck, popper's still up. Okay. Runs back over there, boom, center punches it. Now he's standing there watching. All right. Hits it again. Kind of looks at it. Looks
the RO could stop him.
No, he can't.
Yeah, they could.
Whatever. We're not going to get into that.
Obviously, a fucking range equipment failure.
This was an international match, so everybody was buying their ammo there. I think I would be surprised if 15 people brought ammo to that match. That would be a lot.
Okay.
All right. So everybody shooting the same ammo. That was an issue. So he shoots it again, looks at it, looks at the RO. The RO's kind of looking at him. He goes back. He goes bop bop, shoots it down, and then takes off. It added 10 seconds, 12 seconds onto a 10-second stage.
Oh God!
Right? And then it gets better. So the range master's standing there watching this go down, and then he just he he didn't say it to anybody. He just kept offhand. He's like, well, why do you shoot it down? Now we can't calibrate it. And I just kind of look at him like, what the fuck, bro? Like, he has to shoot it down. It activates a swinger. He's fucked. So that dude got it the worst that I've seen anyone get it. And what was hilarious about it is everybody on my squad then double taps this popper. They go, wah-wah! And they can, just to make sure it goes down. All right? We asked the range officers to fix it. They ain't fixing it. They don't give a fuck. And then after we get done, I look back on the stage of the next squad is up to shoot the stage. And sure enough, another guy center punches the popper, but then he calls for calibration on it, and of course that motherfucker fell.
What?
He got the. Of course it fell. It always does. It doesn't matter. Don't try to reason through it, Hopkins. Of course it fell.
God.
Why don't these ROs call range equipment failure?
No, he shot it. Didn't you hear? He's a dumbass for shooting it down. The smart guy was the guy who left it up for them to calibrate it. That guy was
They
smart.
still didn't fix it though.
Well, it wasn't broken. It calibrated fine.
Sorry I brought this up. Sorry I brought this up. My fault, everybody.
Stuff makes my brain hurt.
Just stop 10 minutes earlier in this.
That's all I do
video.
is Hopkins. All I can do is laugh at this point. It's all I can do is laugh because it's like, okay, well, I mean, it's not an issue until it is, and then it's really. Then we just laugh about it. And I guess I'll use 2 rounds to shoot it down. Whatever. Hopkins, now you're upset.
Yeah, you made me mad.
Why did I make you mad? I'm just telling you what I observed. It was great.